to another episode of A Drink with the Brewster. My name is Apiwe Mawela, also known as the Brewster. Being June, we're still celebrating Youth Month, commemorating a time back in 1976 when the youth of that time took to the streets to fight the injustices and all the things that were not happening or were not going the way they wanted them to happen at that time. So the youth of today is obviously also struggling and facing their own struggles. This month, to celebrate the young people, we are concentrating on young brewers, understanding who they are, where they are in the continent, what they're doing, their journey in the brewing industry, and their plans for the rest of their career. So today we are joined by Leonah from Delta Beverages from Harare in Zimbabwe. Hello, Leonah.
Hi, Apiwe. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Did I introduce you right? You are from Delta, right?
Yes, I am. You did the introduction.
As I was saying, I'm like, no, am I recalling the wrong information here?
No, you're totally right. You're totally right. Yeah.
And how's Zimbabwe? How are you guys? How's COVID treating you that side of the world? Oh, no, just
well. I think we're doing okay. We thought it was going to be worse than it is right now, but business has been low since we started our lockdown in 30th of March. Our volumes have gone down drastically, but yeah, we're keeping afloat. We're doing fine. We're doing fine.
Okay. No, I mean, I think it's like that for all of us. I don't think there's anybody that's not being affected by the pandemic at the moment. So we're having a drink with the Brewster. So let's start off with checking what you're having.
Okay. Today I'm having my beer. This is called Chibuku Super. It's a traditional African beverage. It's brewed from maize, sorghum malt, lactic acid, and yeast. So you see, this one is super. What we mean by saying super is it's super. It's super. It's not like the traditional, the one we're used to. This one it's a learned one. You see, it went to private school.
You went to mother school.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's packed. It's packed in the PET bottle. Yes. So this is PET. Screw cap. This is carbonated, and it's got 4% alcohol content with shelf life of 6 weeks.
Okay, and that's made at your brewery at Delta, right?
Yes, we do it at Delta. So I poured it into this so that you can see how it looks. It's creamy. It's made of, you see, it's maize, and the malt gives it the color. Yeah, it's a good beer. So I'm drinking it from here.
That looks empty. Leonah, that looks empty. So I'm having a Kamakoma. It's a double IPA from a brewery called Frontier Brewing Company. I'm not sure if you actually visited them when last time you were in South Africa, but I think next time you come, you must actually go take you to the brewery.
Yeah, we must drink to that one. Yeah.
So it's a nice and hoppy, fruity, bit of earthiness. I think it's 7% alcohol. Okay. So mine is more potent than yours.
Okay.
And
mine is bigger than yours.
So, for somebody who doesn't know Leonah, you're gonna tell us who you are, on a personal note, where you stay, where you're from, and all the other nice things about you personally before we move on into you as a brewer.
Okay. My name is Leonah Motsi. Like you said, I'm young brewer. I'm a mom of three.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm a mom
So
of
you're not
three.
so
I've got a
young.
5. Yes, I've got a 5-year-old and 3-year-old twins. So yeah, that's me. I'm from a family of 5. I'm the last born. My parents are
Okay.
retired. Yeah, basically I was born and raised in a satellite town from Harare, where my parents were teaching. I was sent to the boarding schools, and then afterwards I went to college, and then afterwards I joined the industry. Yeah, so that's
What did you
basically me.
study?
And I studied biochemistry for my
Okay.
first
Oh, you're a
degree.
biochemist.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did
Okay.
biochemistry for my first
And
degree. Yes.
first degree and the second degree
Uh,
and third degree and fourth degree and
no. Okay. What happened is I did my first degree in it's actually applied biology and biochemistry from the National
okay.
University of Science and Technology. It's in the second capital city of Zimbabwe. Then afterwards, I went into industry. I actually started off in the pharmaceutical industry. I joined through
Oh.
pharmaceutical industry. Yeah, because you find that my degree it's an applied degree. So being biology and biochemistry, it was versatile. You could join the medical field, you could join the industry, you could join the beverage, you could go into, molecular DNA stuff. So I chose, initially I wanted to join the food manufacturing, like the food and beverage, but there were no openings then. So I kept trying and trying and trying. And 2 years later, after my third interview, that's when I managed to get into Delta Beverages. So I transitioned from pharmaceutical, where I was in the quality department, basically lab staff, working in the lab. And then I came into Delta in 2010. So I'm 10 years old now.
Ah. So when you joined the Brewers, did you join the Delta in Harare? Because I know at some point you moved out of
Yes,
them.
yes. Delta is got well. I'm in the Delta has got divisions. I'm in the
Yeah.
traditional African beverages. So I joined the head office, the technical head office, which is in Harare. But back then there were 15 breweries in the country. So when I joined, yes. So when I joined more of, I was an internal consultant. I was in charge of quality at all 15 plants. So it involved
Okay.
a lot of
Oh,
traveling.
1-5. I thought you said 5-0.
Yes. So no, 1-5, 1-5. So I used to, yeah, so I used to go around the plants, brewing with them. You see, I was not yet a brewer. I was actually learning as I was going around. But that, traveling, it exposed me a lot. And that was 2010 into 2011. And then in 2011, the other thing I probably didn't mention, you guys know that the traditional beers like the umkombotis back at home, they don't last for long. They probably 3 days, 5 days, yeah. And
Yeah.
you, yeah. So the task there was to come up with a beer that would last for longer, so that it would save on the distribution network, because you always have to brew and dispatch and stuff. So that's when I was sent to Zambia to the Hendrix Beverages. They have a pilot plant there where we worked on this particular beer, this Chibuku Silver.
Okay.
So basically, we're not changing much in terms of intrinsics of the beer, but it was mostly working around how we could package it and present it in such a way that it would last for longer. So it was mostly around carbonating it, putting it in a pack where you don't lose the carbonation, you maintain the freshness and everything. So yeah, this one is what we came up with in Zambia in 2011, and then it was eventually commercialized in 2012.
Oh wow! So you're holding one of your babies there.
Sorry?
I'm saying you are holding one of your babies.
Yes, yes, this one is one of the biggest. So when, like I said, I was in the technical department where it's mostly formulating and new and improved formulation. So my journey has also involved a lot of formulating. We were also consulting for the non-alcoholic beverage, which is also a Delta product. You know, my health.
Maheo, yes.
Mahel,
Yeah.
yes.
Who doesn't know
So yeah,
Maheo?
yes. So we also did some bit of work for them. There's a brand that they have called Shumba, which we formulated a malt-based Mahel, which also went onto the market around 2013. And then we actually did a dairy-based beer where we formulated chocolate chocolate flavored. Yeah, it's unfortunate we're not producing it anymore, but we had a chocolate flavored beer where we would
Like
put milk, chocolate and stuff. Yes,
similar to
so
the
you find that
flavor.
yes, so we were mostly targeting the female or the lighter drinkers, because this is bitterish beer. There are no hops, but it's a bit bitter. It's strong.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it mild, sweet. So we developed the chocolate flavored one, which was in the market for about a year. But people couldn't cope with the. It was a bit pricey. So we shelved that one for now. We shelved that one for now. Yeah. So yeah, I think in terms of formulation, that's what I've managed to do. And in 2012,
when did you move to brewing?
Sorry?
When did you move into becoming a brewer?
Starting in 2012, actually. We've got a program that Delta runs with University of Pretoria.
Oh yes.
Yes, you know about it. Yes, the opaque beer brewing. Yes. So I went through the course in 2012, and it was quite interesting for me, because back then Delta was under SAP Miller, and it would bring everyone like into one place. When we did the residential workshops, we had people coming in from as far as Uganda, we had people coming in from Malawi, Mozambique, all sorts of all of the SAB Miller opaque beer plants. So yeah, it was quite an eye-opener also for me. That's when I learned how to brew officially. Yeah, that was in 2012. That was in 2012, yeah.
When you say officially, I'm assuming that obviously being a young woman growing up in Zim, in Harare, that you were exposed to traditional brewing, like the full-on traditional way. Like, did you have any, like for example, I learned from my mother and my aunts brewing. For you, did you have anybody within your family that was that you learned from the traditional way of brewing before or after you mastered
when we used to go to the rural areas, there would be some beers being brewed, but I was never really that much exposed to it. But I've got some vague, memories of these traditional beers being brewed back at home, but I never learned how to do it back then. When I say officially, I meant, when you get certification that you're now a Chibuku brewer. That's what happened in 2012. Piwe?
I think she disconnected again.
She's okay. What do I do? Do I wait?
I don't know. It depends when she's coming back. If she is coming.
Oh.
But she's still online, so I don't know.
Hi, Leonah.
Hi, are you back?
Yeah, sorry, I just had a bit of a. Did you get my question though?
Sorry?
Sorry?
I didn't
Did you
get your
get my question before I got a. Okay, no, I was asking what made you decide that you wanted to somehow end up becoming a brewer? Like, what made you, while you were in the
Oh,
pharmaceutical industry, kept on wanting to apply and wanted to get into brewing?
okay. I think the decision actually happened when I was still in college. My degree was a 4-year degree, but there's a 1-year internship that you spend in industry. So
Okay.
I actually spent my 1 year of internship in Delta, and it
Awesome.
was quite, yeah. So it was fun for me, and I actually found that I was more inclined to the fermentation courses, the industrial biotechnology courses. So I think it was my passion actually was built during my college years. And so when I actually finished college and I was in pharmaceutical industry, I was not home. I really wanted to come home.
You wanted to get in. And you were lucky, because I mean, as you know, there's so many other people who would want to work for Delta and apply upon it. I mean, before I got into SAP, I don't know how many times I had to apply, and kept on trying and trying and hoping that somebody would actually look at your CV and think, yeah, this person is worthy, let's give them a try.
Yeah.
And obviously, since you're doing the course in Pretoria, then what happened? Did you go back to Zambia, or were you then did you go back to Zimbabwe, or what happened?
Oh, okay. The University of Pretoria course was distance learning. I didn't actually go to South Africa for it.
Okay.
I was actually based here. We're doing it by distance learning. Prof Dudu and Jimmy, these guys were helping us online, and we just interfaced with them when they came for the residential workshop, which was about a week, when everyone was in one place. And then we wrote the exams from here, and then we passed from here.
And obviously, we have the product to prove that you know what you're doing.
Yes,
The millions and millions of people that drink the product that say,
exactly.
Leonah, you know what you're doing. And the transition into, because I met you when you were doing your IBD diploma in brewing. What brought that about? Because obviously that focused more on clear beer. Why
Yes.
did you do that, and how did you find that?
Okay. Just to rewind a bit. In 2015, I worked on a system for sensory evaluation. I'm actually a certified tester by SAB as well. So when we're doing the trainings for tasting, we were using the global taste system, which is you actually use castle as the beer. So I actually realized that a beer is a beer, and I wanted to learn more of the lager brewing. So that's when I decided I wanted to transition. I actually wanted to do the IBD then, but unfortunately, that's when, fortunately or unfortunately, that's when I started my breeding program. So I couldn't do school then. So I only started the IBD journey when the twins were 3 months old. That's when I started.
That was too early.
Yes. So it wasn't easy because I was doing lectures through Clive's GPS, and there are no lectures done in Zimbabwe. I would have to travel for lectures, so I had to leave the kids, and it wasn't easy. And I actually remember the first lectures were module 3, and that was hell. I was like, what is this?
Clive is not listening.
I'm not in the right place, and I was so stressed, and I would have migraines. Like, even when we went to, is it Shamdo, to see the lines, and I was like, what am I doing here? I'm not in the right place. But I kept getting encouraged because I was the only one doing it in Zim at the time anyway. So it was tough, but I went.
Yeah, and were you doing all three? Were you doing all 3 exams, or did you pace yourself?
I actually registered for all three at the same time. I came.
With three,
Yes, I
with
came for the
twins that were 3 months.
with twins and a 2-year-old. Yeah, I actually
And a
registered for.
husband. And a
Yeah, and
full-time
a
job.
husband and a job. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. When I actually look back, I wanted to give up. When I came
Yeah.
for module 3, I almost gave up. And like I said, I started off with module 3 lectures. Then I did the module 1 and 2 in Tanzania, at the Tanzania Brewery Limited. When I got there, it was supposed to be for 2 weeks. The whole first week I had malaria. I was down. I couldn't attend class. Forces were against me. But yeah, in the end, I managed to pass.
How did you, for somebody who's listening and probably feeling worse than you feeling, or maybe they're listening to you and think, actually, my situation is not as bad. This lady went through the worst. What advice would you give to somebody who's going through something similar, about to start their going through the IBD exams, thinking that, you know what, I should probably give up, and this is not for me?
Okay, you know what? My advice is look at the prize, like look at your goal. I set goals for myself, and I told myself that I have to achieve it. I was a bit late in achieving, but what matters is I must achieve, because there was a point when I really said, I'm just going to get onto the plane and go back home because this is not working. But then I said, all the efforts that I've put in, they'll be in vain. I have to do this, and I can do it. So I kept trying. I had to work slightly harder than everyone else. I had to put in longer hours because I had a normal 8 to 4 job, and I had kids when I got home. So I would have to drive back sometimes to the office to study and all. It was tough, but what matters is press on and look at the prize. What you have set that you need to achieve, you need to achieve it.
Yeah. No, that is a wonderful, great advice. I mean, you've been through. I mean, I thought I had struggles in life, but when I listen to yours, I'm like, you know what? I should be grateful. Some people have been
true.
through.
You should.
Yeah. And then, where do you see yourself in the industry in the next?
I actually want to be a total beverages person. I've got a passion for beer, and I really want to migrate into the clear beer. So that's what I'm actually currently working on. But whilst I'm here, I love formulating things. I love coming up with new things. So right now, I'm now in my own operation. I'm not in the service department anymore, but I still consult for them. They still come for ideas and all. I love this beer, and I love coming up with new things. But I want to become a total beverages person, so I'm looking into moving into the clear beer as well. So I'm looking into opportunities for that.
Yeah, you already have the certification, and you've gone through.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so you understand it.
Yes, and I actually want to do the master brewer. I actually wanted to write the first module this year, but I think my excuse is COVID for this year.
The exams are in September. The exams are
I noticed.
so it's not really an excuse, because COVID would have given you time, lockdown giving you time to actually study and prepare properly for the exams if you really wanted to and didn't. But I think, it's good. Take some time. Yeah.
Yes. And the other thing that I also realized is I'm also a mentor and a coach for some of the upcoming guys. So I learn a lot when I am coaching and, these guys. So I've been trying to hook up with Clive to do some classes for the guys in Zim as well. Even, just the certificate for appreciation. So I think I've got a passion in training as well. And eventually I would also want to have some form of a consultancy company, so that I can consult training, especially for this.
I actually have not I don't remember, and I've got so many friends who are based this side, who come from Zim, who always tell me that that's what I need to try. And that I'll give you the task that next time you come to South Africa or know somebody coming this side, that you smuggle something for me. How's that?
Okay. It's fine. We'll make a plan. We'll make a plan.
And I think in closing, I think you touched on it with all your great advice and everything, but what advice would you give to, I mean, like we know in South Africa, we're celebrating Youth Month. And obviously the youth of today, people have like so many different struggles, not just related, but in general, life in general. So what advice would you give to a young person who feels that life has just been throwing them lemons left, right, and center, and they have no idea what to do?
Oh, well, I think my advice to the upcoming people, the young guys, is, follow your dreams. I know it seems tough. Things are never easy. And for myself, I think find yourself a mentor, someone who can, uplift you when things are down, because more than 50% of the time, you're going to be discouraged, you're going to fail at things, but you must find someone who's able to uplift you. Even motivational reading, or a mentor, even in the workplace or off the workplace, that will help you a lot. So find the people in the industry you are targeting to, and talk to these people. They'll uplift you a lot, and make milestones for yourselves, not just thumbs-up milestones, things that are achievable every year, every month, every day. Set targets for yourselves, and at the end of the period, review how have I done and what could you have done better. But above all, work hard, don't cut corners, and eventually your reward will come.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, madam. Now I feel like I'm learning.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But I really do appreciate your passion for brewing, for passion for Africa, and I think we need more people like yourself and myself and many other people, that each time we uplift the continent and showcase all the great things we have within the continent in the brewing space. So please continue flying that Zimbabwean flag and the African flag as a whole, and let's just keep on sharing the love, and you still owe me the product, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But I never saw you drink. See, my glass is almost empty, Leonah. I never saw you take a sip. Yes.
You see, this one is a food and drink as well, so I can't drink as at much speed as yours.
Excuses. That was a drink with the Brewster. We had a great chat with Leonah in Harare and Zim from Delta Beverages. And I mean, if you don't feel inspired to continue pushing on and continue hustling, and I think for me the greatest thing is the fact that the beer industry in Africa is in great hands. The youth, the young people, the young brewers are doing amazing things, and we thank people like Leonah and many others. So please tune in again next week for another episode. So we're moving into in July. So we'll be our theme for July will be how we survived COVID within the beer space. So we'll be having different guests who will be talking to us about how they actually managed to get through COVID and how they managed to get to the other side. And we still try to get to the other side, actually. So we'll get to hear what people have been up to through the lockdown and what has kept them going. So thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week. Bye.